Hello and good morning to the ignited minds of our country. A very warm good morning. Here I am with the very third video series of the chapter Forms of Government from Social and Political Life. In my previous videos, we have already discussed about certain topics like government, its definition, functions, organs, forms of government, definition, basis of classification, the difference between democratic form of government as well as authoritarian form of government. And in the second video, we have discussed the parliamentary and presidential form of government. Okay. In this video, as I have already discussed and told that I will be discussing unitary and federal form of government in the third video. We are going to take each form of government in a single video, that for having a clear understanding of these types of government as per the book. Okay, let us start with the thought, a very beautiful thought. Push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. Okay, if you think that you are weak, you are not. Okay, and if you think you cannot do anything, you need someone to be there for you always. Okay, so do not think in such way, because it is you who has been created by God to mold your own future with your own hands. Okay, and as I have also shared a thought in the last video, that you have to be curious. Curiosity is the only key to get answers to all your questions. Okay, so let us start the video series Forms of Government. As I have already discussed the topics, moving on to the slide. Okay, this one is as you can see here, this is the picture showing you a unitary form of government, and the other picture which is showing you the federal form of government. So as you can see here, this picture which is showing you the unitary form of government, only a single building is there in this picture. Okay, let us see what is a unitary form of government first, then we'll be moving to the federal form of government. So a unitary system of government or a unitary state is governed as a single entity. The central government is the supreme. Okay, here the central government is the supreme, and whatever administrative divisions are there, all the divisions are exercised only by the powers that the central government has delegated them. Okay, the central government is the supreme, and the administrative divisions exercise only those powers that the central government has delegated to them. There are many countries who are having this form of government, like England, France, Japan, China, Great Britain, Chile, Sri Lanka. These countries are having unitary form of government. Okay, there are many more. In a unitary form of government, as we have discussed, all authority and power vested in a single center, whereas you can see in the next slide, federal form, you're able to see that one main building is there and the other levels are there. There are levels of government. Okay, so in the federal form of government, authority and power are distributed between center and the constituent units. Okay, as you can as you guys know that here in India we have federal form of government. Suppose this is the central government. Okay, what it does, it vested powers in the state governments. Okay, and further state governments vest their powers or delegate some powers to other local self-governments in India, like the urban local self-government and rural local self-government. You'll be reading about these rural governments later in the second term, but you must have the knowledge of these things, that we have federal form of government, the center, then the state, and then the local self governments are there. Okay, so uh, let us move back to unitary form of government. As you can see that in unitary form of government, there is the power is vested in the hands of a single entity. Okay, in a single entity. There are two important qualities of unitary government. There are two important qualities of unitary government. Okay, what are the two important qualities? The first one is the supremacy of the central government. Okay, the central government is the supreme one. And the second one is the absence of the subsidiary sovereign bodies. Okay, there are no other bodies which is which which has their own powers. Okay, whatever power is there, it is vested in the central government. But these form of governments are suitable for small countries only, like Bangladesh. As you can see, that is a small country. Okay, and like Britain or Chile, these forms of government are suitable for small countries only, because and in this form of government there is no conflict of authority and responsibility. Okay, the unitary government here will make prompt decisions and take speedy actions, and a unitary government is less expensive. Okay, it is less expensive. Amendments, as we have discussed, we will be discussing about it also later, because there are certain laws which we need to change. Okay, there are certain procedures for changing the law, okay, according to the constitution. But here what happens, it takes a lot of time to amend the law in India, especially because there are certain procedures to amend the laws. Amend means to maintain the originality of the law and to change it for the welfare of the people according to the needs. Okay, to be uh, which is to be completed at that time only. Okay, but if the need changes, the law needs to change also. As you can see, we people used to change law or amend law according to our convenience, so that the society and the government runs in a very smooth way. Okay, and as I have already told that in unitary form of government, the amendments to the constitution are easy. Okay, there is unity and uniformity of law, policy, and administration is there. Okay, as I have already discussed that as the power is vested in a single hand, okay, in a single entity, so that is why there is unity and uniformity of law. Okay, and in unitary form of government, you will see that in the unitary form of government, this government makes law and also executes the law. They do not need any executive to execute the law. Okay, so in this form of government, what happens, there is only one single entity which makes law as well as executes these laws. Okay, and as I have discussed, the countries having unitary form of government like Great Britain, China, Chile, Bangladesh, they all are having unitary form of government. Okay, Now moving on to the federal government. A federal government is one in which powers are divided between the national government and the regional governments. As you can see here, that there is one main entity, okay, and then what it does, the powers, okay, the powers of are divided, okay. In federal form of government, the powers are divided between the national government and the regional government. These are the state governments, as I have already discussed, okay. These are the state government. The powers are divided among these entities in a federal form of government, okay. Moving on to, as you can see, where you can see these form of governments, you can see these forms of government in USA, Switzerland, India, Australia, Canada, Russia, Brazil, Argentina. These are the countries which are having the federal form of government, okay. In a federal model, the national government is known as the federal government, okay. The national government, the government which is at the top, as you can see, there is a government at the top, okay. The national government, this national government is called the federal government, okay. This national government is called the federal government or the central government, or it is also known as the union government, okay. And others are the regional government, and the regional governments are known as the state governments or the provincial governments, okay. These regional governments are known as the state governments or the provincial governments, and below these state governments are the local self governments, okay. Like you must have heard about municipal corporations, municipal committees, panchayats, okay. So these are the local self governments, okay. Okay, in a federal form of government, the Indian constitution establishes a dual polity, okay. As you can see here, as we have already discussed, the powers have been divided between the national government, okay, the central government, and the state government and the other provincial governments, okay. So each is endowed with sovereign powers to be exercised in the field, okay, assigned to them. Suppose the central take the decisions which is suitable for the whole country, and the state governments take decisions which is suitable for the states, and the provincial government, like the local self government, take the decisions which is for the people of that local area, okay, those local areas. So as you can see from here, that we have already discussed also that the powers are to be exercised individually, okay, and respectively whatever assigned to them by the constitution. So the articles of the constitution are written. Here the constitution in federal form of government, the constitution is written, okay, and it cannot be changed easily without due parliamentary approval. Parliamentary means parliament, we have already discussed. When we talk about parliament, legislature, we have three organs, okay, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and President of India, okay. Uh, if we take instance of India, then, okay. So here what there is a written constitution, and it is very difficult to change the articles of the constitution, as I have already discussed that we need certain procedures, okay. The constitution divides the power between the center and states, okay. The constitution divides the power between center and states, okay. There are certain powers. How the powers are divided? The powers are divided in the form of union list, state list, and concurrent list. Okay, one more subject is there, residuary subjects. Okay, you'll be reading about these topics later, but you must have some knowledge about these things, that the in the union list, the subjects which are included in the union list are the subjects on which center makes laws. Okay, when it comes to state list, it is when it comes to state list when it comes to state list, the government the state governments make laws on the subjects which is included in the state list. Okay, and when it comes to concurrent list, the union government as well as the state government both have the right to make laws based on the subjects which is in the concurrent list. But here also the prominence will be given to the superiority, and the seniority will be given to the central government. Okay, if whatever suppose if conflicts occur between the states and the okay, if a conflict occurs between the center and the state government, what will happen? The superiority will be given to the central government. Okay, and whatever they decide, the state governments have to follow them. And the last one, the residuary subjects, are those subjects which are somehow not given in any of the list. Okay, like computer software and all, they have been included later, that is why they have been included in the residuary subject. Okay, okay, so federal form of government has certain merits also, as we have discussed the merits of unitary government. So there are certain merits of federal government as well. Okay, and the merits are that it gives rise to big states. Okay, and division of power is there between the state and the center. Okay, it is more suitable for the bigger countries. As you can see, unitary government is more suitable for the smaller countries. In federal form of government, it is more suitable for the bigger countries. It is good for economic and cultural progress. Okay, it is good for economic and cultural progress. And we have already discussed that policy making is not quite easy in this form of government, in federal form of government. As to change the law or any article of the constitution, there is a certain procedure which we have to follow. So if there are merits, then there must be some demerits also of these forms of government, isn't it? So the demerits of a federal form of government is that federal form of government is weaker when compared to the unitary form of government. Okay, it is more expensive. As you can see, unitary government is less expensive, federal form of government is more expensive. Okay, there is a lack of uniformity, and there is no lack of uniformity. Okay, as you have already discussed, as I have already discussed with you, that there's a uniformity of law. Okay, but here there is a lack of uniformity. Okay, in federal form of government there is a threat to national unity. Okay, and the distribution between the center and the state lead to conflict. Okay, in unitary you have seen that since there is no sharing of powers between the central government and other bodies, so there is no conflict, there is no chance of any conflict between them. Okay, but in federal form of government there is a chance of conflict. Okay, here the constitution is rigid. In a federal form of government there is a rigid constitution which cannot be amended easily for the changing needs. Okay, we are having certain procedures to change it. Okay, and the state government sometimes place hindrances. Okay, hindrances means obstacles or problem. They create problems in the foreign policy as well. So, if there are demerits for a federal form of government, there must be demerits of this unitary form of government as well. As you can see, as I have already told that the power is vested in a central entity, so it involves a possibility for central dictatorship. Okay, it forms a possibility of central dictatorship. The central government often behaves inefficiently because of being overburdened with all the work. Okay, as you have seen that in federal form of government, the works have been shared. Okay, it has been shared between the governments. Okay, at central as well as state level as well as local levels. Okay, but in unitary form of government, as the whole power is vested in the hands of the central entity, the central government behaves inefficiently. Okay, it often finds itself not fully capable of meeting the pressure of the work. Okay, and in unitary form of government, there it is suitable only for small states. It is not possible for a big state or a country to have a unitary form of government. Okay, so that is why there are more demerits in it. Okay, for having a unitary government for a very big state or a country. The unitary form of government ignores local needs. Okay, because of being located at center and facing pressure of national problems and all, it often fails to satisfy the local needs. Okay, and it is quite more bureaucratic. Okay, it is quite more bureaucratic. Okay, it is the bureaucracy which really runs the central and the local administration. Okay, there is a less chance of popular participation, as you can see in a country like countries which are federal. Okay, uh, elections occur at after certain intervals of time, and we people have a power to choose our representative. But in unitary form of government, there is a very less chance for popular participation. Okay, there is a less of local autonomy and initiative as well because of being a system based on centralization of power. Okay, it kills local initiative, and it further discourages popular interest in public affairs. Okay, so in conclusion, we can say that a unitary government, because of its simplicity, strength, and stability, represents an effective type of governmental organizations. Okay, which can be fruitfully established and worked in small states. For larger states, it cannot be recommended because of its centralizing nature and scope. Because, okay, because of its centralizing nature, this type of government can not be recommended for large states. And when it comes to the federal form of government, there is a huge tug of war between the national and the local interest. Okay, it is highly expensive, but it is suitable for the big states. Okay, or a larger states, as it is suitable for the countries having a diversity of race, religion, and language. As you can see that the powers have been shared between the national and the central and the state governments. So the local needs are met with effectively. Okay, and the responsibilities of social of the central government are also lessened. Okay, small states can have dignity and be safe from foreign aggression. Okay, let us now move on to what your book says. Okay, there is a difference between the unitary and the federal form of government according to the book which has been given in the book. Let us discuss this one also because it is very important to at least go through the book. Okay, when it comes to unitary and federal form of government, you will see that when there is only one government for the whole country, it is known as the unitary form of government. Okay, when there is only one government for the whole country, it is known as unitary form of government. And when there is a distribution of power of power between the central and the state governments, it is known as federal form of government. In unitary form of government, the form of government makes and executes the law. Okay, and in federal form of government, most of the laws that the central government makes apply all over the country. Okay, and laws passed by the state government apply only in the state. Here are the examples we have already discussed. Great Britain, Bangladesh, Chile are the examples of such government, and India, USA, Switzerland, Nigeria, Brazil are examples of federal form of government. Let us move on to the exercise questions. This one we have already discussed, but one question was left. This one, as you can see here, USA, Brazil and Malaysia have this form of government: territorial, authoritarian, parliamentary, federal. So these countries are having federal form of government. We have already discussed match the following in our last class. One question is there related to the topic. Okay, that is, what are the features of the federal government? Give two examples. So we have already discussed the features. There is a distribution of power between the central and the state governments. Most of the laws that the central government makes apply all over the country, and as we have already discussed, the law made by the state government apply to the states only. Okay, it promotes unity in the country while respecting the regional diversity among states, and laws passed by the state government apply only in the state. The two examples, India and USA. With this particular question, I am putting an end to this video. Okay, and in the next video we'll be discussing about the constitutions. Okay, and the types of constitution. Okay, have a good day and keep learning. Be curious.